Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all doing well. Today's video is going to be another Empties video. I normally try and do these monthly, but last month I didn't end up doing one because I only had about like 2 or 3 products in my Empties bin, so it didn't really seem worth making a whole video about them. But I swear all of a sudden we hit May and a bunch of new products got added in there. So now seems like a good time to film this video before I let myself get overwhelmed. Before we jump in, if you are interested in this makeup look that I've got on today, yes, I have filmed this one. I think it will probably be up by the time this video goes up, but I really have no idea. It's just gonna depend on what I have the time to edit. So if it is already up, I will link it up in the cards for you. And if it is not and you are not subscribed yet, then make sure you do, and also sign up for notifications, and that way YouTube will let you know as soon as this video comes out. So let's jump into this month's Empties. So the first product that I'm going to talk about today is the number 7 Radiant Results Nourishing Cleansing Balm. I literally finished this one last night and I was pretty dead set on including it in this month's Empties, so I was quite happy when that happened. I have already spoken about this product on my channel in a favourite and fails video, and it was the only fail for the month of March, I think. I bought it thinking it would be a good alternative to the Clinique Take the Day Off Balm. I mean, even the packaging looks similar, but it is a fraction of the cost. I did not get on with it. I will link that favourites video if you guys want to see some kind of more extensive thoughts on it, but basically I didn't really like the texture. As soon as I added water, it almost felt like cooking oil on my face. It was a really unpleasant sensation, and it didn't take off all my makeup unless my makeup was pretty minimal. Saying that, last night actually it did a really good job at taking everything off, but I was scrubbing for a while. You just have to put so much work in. It doesn't really make things particularly easy, so I didn't really enjoy that. I did say in that video that it does say in the directions on here to use a muslin cloth to remove the product, and it does in fact come with one, and I did tell you guys that I would try that to see how it goes. It did go a whole lot better, I will admit. I felt like it took everything off a lot better than when I didn't use the cloth. But again, as I mentioned in that video, the whole reason for me to switch to a cleansing balm was to avoid using things like cottons or cloths, because I do get pretty sensitive eyes if I rub them too much. So this was a really cheap option. Does this replace my Clinique cleansing balm? No, would not repurchase. I have already switched to trying a brand new one, which I will give you an update on at some point. The next item is the Garnier Skin Active Moisture Balm. This is the night version. I feel like I'm on an adventure when it comes to my night cream. I feel like I've got my day cream down, I have my makeup prep cream down, but night cream I haven't really found something that I love right now. I'm not looking for anything particularly anti-aging or anything like that, because I do use a separate retinol serum. I like to be able to alternate and use niacinamide another night, so I don't want ingredients that are necessarily going to conflict in my night cream. So I'm trying out some drugstore ones and seeing how I feel about them, and this Garnier one did sound quite nice. It is a gel texture, which is someone with oily skin I do like, and it has antioxidants in there, so that sounded really good. It wasn't terrible, it just wasn't really the best. Again, it does have that gel texture, but there was something almost a little bit plasticky about it. Obviously this is a different price point, but for comparison, the Clinique Moisture Surge, which I adore and I'm using so sparingly because I can't afford to repurchase it, you put that one on and it kind of almost feels like it turns into water. I feel like my Yes To Watermelon has a comparable texture. This kind of felt, yeah, a little bit plasticky. Like, it didn't leave any residue or a film on my skin. It was just, yeah, it just felt a little bit plasticky. So, I mean, if you want to try it, it's very affordable. Garnier is a very affordable brand. I don't think this had fragrance. Oh, there's no ingredient list on here. It wasn't particularly fragranced. There was nothing kind of offensive about it. It was just, I don't know. I feel like I'm really picky about how I want my night cream to feel, because I want it to be heavier than my day cream, but I don't want it to be super thick. So yeah, wouldn't repurchase. It just wasn't wasn't quite the right texture for me. Up next is a product that I literally finished on camera with you guys. I did a video showing you some products that I am currently trying to finish up, and one of them was the Collection Extreme 24-Hour Felt Tip Liner. I'm just gonna start by saying that this one will not be a repurchase. I think I said it in the video at the time. It is a really, really affordable option. Collection is a brand that really has remained affordable throughout the years, so that I really liked about it. That's why I purchased it in the first place, and is why I purchased it for the first time maybe about 10 years ago, maybe more because I'm old. What I do like about it, apart from the price, is the fact that it is a felt tip. When you are starting off doing eyeliner, anything with more of a paintbrush, I feel like it's a little bit too hard to use. That's how I felt personally. I never liked a liquid liner with a brush just because I found it so hard to be stable with it, and I much preferred for a very long time these types of liners, whether liquid or a pen. The issue with it is that the pigmentation just isn't great. It really isn't that black. For the price I can kind of forgive it, but I'd rather put more money into an eyeliner that's actually pigmented. But I think for me, if you are really starting off with your eyeliner, you just want something to practice. It doesn't matter if it's not super pigmented, you're just trying to get your shapes right. That's what I think this one is good for. I think it's pretty easy to use, it's really cheap. I just wouldn't get it again at this point, but I think it has its place. Next up is another item that I also finished in the same video. This is the MUA Pro Base Full Coverage Concealer. I've tried a few products from the MUA Pro Base range at this point. There are some that I really, really like. In fact, I'm wearing the foundation at the moment as well as the powder. I would say that my skin looks pretty good. I'm pretty happy with how it's come out. The concealer, however, is definitely not one of my favorites. I did explain in that video that while I started by really disliking the product, when I started using it again last summer when I went back to work, because I wasn't setting it with any powder, I actually liked it a lot more. I thought it was sitting better. I mean, it was creasing, but I wasn't getting the same texture that I had before. So I think the reason I didn't like it before was that the powders I was trying to use with it just weren't really working. So that was an improvement. However, for me, the issue is that it is called a full coverage concealer, and I really don't think it is full coverage at all. It doesn't cover anything that I need it to. If I had it on right now, you'd still be able to see pretty much everything. So I wouldn't say that it's full coverage. I mean, maybe you could build it up to be full coverage if you put a lot on, but then the issue is that the doe foot is pretty small. This is just absolutely tiny by today's standards, and you would just have to dip in so many times to build it up. So that just sounds like a lot of work to me. So out of the Pro Base range, I would say that this is one of my least favorite items. I wouldn't repurchase it. I think there are just going to be much better drugstore full coverage options out there. So yeah, wouldn't get it again. I've got a setting spray next. This is the MAC Prep and Prime Fix Plus. This is the matte version. This purchase was 100% influenced by Robert Welsh. I will say that right now. I bought it literally just before leaving Clinique. I placed a massive order with all of these products that I've been wanting to try while still working there. Thought, right, this is my last chance and let me get loads. I feel like some people didn't like this one because it had powder in it, and then I feel like some people maybe felt like they looked powdery when they sprayed it on, or blotchy. I didn't notice anything like that. The way that I used it is how I saw Robert Welsh recommend to use it, which was as a first sort of primer step, and then in between each of my foundation, concealer steps, all of that. Do I feel like it really extended the wear of my makeup? I feel like that is kind of hard to say because I did that technique a lot over the summer last year, where I probably do get quite oily and I use it with dewy foundations. So again, I'm gonna look oily pretty quickly. So whether it actually extended the wear of that makeup, I'm not sure, but I do feel like it gave me a nice finish. It was pleasant to use. Like I said, I didn't have any issues with it going blotchy on the skin or anything. Would I repurchase it? No, because I just can't afford luxury products at the moment. But I guess if you do like Fix Plus and you want to try this, I didn't have any issues with it. I just don't know whether it does more than the original Fix Plus or not. Oh, I have another setting spray. This is the Collection Primed and Ready Matte. So this is a very affordable setting spray. I don't know that I actually really noticed the effects of wearing a matte setting spray over a normal one. Like, does it keep me matte for longer? Does it help my makeup wear longer? I don't know that I've ever noticed that. I definitely notice more of a difference when I use a dewy, glowy setting spray like the iconic one, the L'Oreal Shake and Glow. If I use those, I can tell that I look more glowy, but I don't know if I can tell that this really made me look more matte. I kind of just ended up using it more to spray my brush for eyeshadow, that kind of thing. Do I feel like it's doing, you know, anything more than my I Heart Revolution fixing spray? I really can't tell. I feel like I just don't see a difference with these matte setting sprays. So yeah, I feel like I wouldn't get it again. I'd probably get just a general cheap setting spray for spraying my brush and that kind of thing, because that's all I ended up using it for really at the end. We do have a little bit of hair care, and this is the XHC Banana Conditioner. This is a product that is extremely popular in the Curly Girl Facebook group that I'm in. It is a very affordable option. I personally get it from B&M. I have actually repurchased this one. I actually bought it last year when I'd had my highlights done the first time round, and the reason I did is because this is a product that contains protein. So it's a product that's going to be really good when you have highly processed hair like mine. I've never tried to wash my hair with it, which is what you do in the Curly Girl method, but I can see why it would be popular for that. It does have quite a thin consistency, so I feel like it's not going to weigh down your roots, and in fact I may actually try it sometime soon, just because my hair is like processed all over at the moment. It might appreciate being washed with this. I hadn't used this one for months. I don't think I'd touched it since last year. In fact, I was trying to finish up a bunch of other products that I had before buying anything new for my curls. I feel like whenever I say to you guys like, oh, my curls aren't doing well, they're doing really bad at the moment, I really need a cut, turns out all I need is to switch up my products. I'd been finishing up a Faith in Nature conditioner. My hair was getting zero protein, not in a hair mask, not in anything. I added this back in and immediately it just looked a lot better. So this is a good one when my hair does need that protein, when it does need that boost. However, it doesn't need it forever. It doesn't continuously need the protein. And I feel like that's something that I see a lot on Facebook, is people will be using it and all of a sudden they'll be like, oh, my hair's really stringy, it's not curling properly anymore. That's when you need to stop using it. Your hair's had enough, and then you can use it later on if you feel like you need it again. I don't know if I'm making any sense. Listen, I'm not a hair professional. I will link you guys to Mains by Mel though. She is a curly hair specialist and she has a whole video about protein, and that will explain it a lot better than I ever will, and it really did make a difference to me. So yeah, this is a product that I've already repurchased. I'm going to be using it a lot over the next few weeks because I know that my curls are not going to be doing well right now. I have washed my hair since getting it done, but I haven't tried to style it curly yet, and last year that did not go very well. It was very stringy for a while. I feel like this is one of those products that's really going to help me with it. So yeah, definitely worth taking a look at whether or not you have curly hair. If you do have processed hair and your hair does need like extra help, this is a very affordable option. I'm pretty pleased with it. Okay, this next one isn't going to be an empty. It's actually going to be a declutter, but I did just want to mention it in today's video because this only happened a couple of days ago. This is the Solait SPF 50 Moisturizing Sun Lotion. Now, this was purchased last year, but it's got quite a lot of product left in there, so I reckon it was probably purchased July, maybe August, quite late on in the summer. I could have checked. The shelf life after opening is 12 months. I'm like 95% sure that we are still within that, and like I said, there's loads of product left in there, but I think it might have expired, either that or it doesn't really work for me. So it hasn't been super hot where we live. It's been getting gradually more and more sunny. Over the past sort of couple of weeks, I've been cycling to work. It's been getting warmer. I've been rolling my sleeves up, and by the time I get to work or then in the evening, I have been realizing that I am really itchy, particularly on my hands, but also on my arms, and it is definitely related to the sun. I used to get it quite a lot when we lived in London as well, when I'd walk to work, again around this sort of time of year where it's getting warmer and the sun's out, but I haven't started wearing SPF yet, and it's not looking too bad today actually, but yesterday it basically looked like eczema. I don't know if you can kind of see it, and normally what fixes it is wearing sun cream. That's literally all it is. I went for a bike ride on Tuesday. I put this on before going out. I was out for maybe 50 minutes, I think, just under, and in the evening I was so itchy, and it was like this had done nothing. So I don't know if this is expired. I don't know if it is just one that doesn't work for me. I just thought I would include it in this video in case it is expired. You know, do make sure that you're not keeping your sun creams for longer than you need to, because I don't remember remember having any issues with this last year. I would have used this and I don't remember having this problem. So I think it is more likely that it is expired, in which case it's completely useless. I haven't repurchased this one. I have switched back to Nivea because that's what I used to use and I've never had any problems with those. And I'm not saying that this is a bad product. I use the Solait face SPFs. There's one that I really like that I've spoken about before, one that I'm on the fence about that I will be telling you guys at some point in a future Empties video. I'm not saying that this is bad. I reckon it's just expired, but I didn't want to repurchase the same one and have the same problem. So yeah, I just wanted to include this one in there to let you know, make sure you're not using your SPFs after they're expired. Basically, that's all it is. Okay, I have a couple more things in here. I have a tube of PLouise Base in the shade 0.5. I want to say this is my second or third tube I've finished. I'm not entirely sure. I think it might be my third. You guys know I use it in all my tutorials. I've got it on right now. It is incredible for making your eyeshadows look really, really pigmented. I plan on continuing to buy it in the future as long as I'm posting looks to Instagram and YouTube because it is what works best for me. Do I think it is the best for long-lasting makeup? No, it's not what I use to go to work every day. I do have slightly hooded eyes. As I'm getting older, my brow bone is definitely starting to droop down and I end up getting a lot of creasing right in this area where my cut crease is sat right now. I have other primers that I find do not give me that same effect. They also don't give me the same pigmentation from the eyeshadow. So I use the PLouise Base for a very different thing. It is for that color payoff. And I have also stopped using it for my cut creases. I have a PLouise paint on right now, which I think is working a lot better for me. If I had the PLouise Base on right now for the cut crease, I would have a lot of texture. Some shimmer shadows can look very thick and very chunky on it. So I've been exploring other products, trying to see what works better. I think the paint definitely gives me a much better finish. So that is definitely something to be aware of with it. As I said, I'm going to carry on repurchasing it. I'm very happy with it, but I know a lot of brands have kind of started coming out with their own versions. But until I find a primer that gives me the same incredible pigmentation for my eyeshadows, I'm gonna carry on using it. My last makeup item is gonna be the Fenty Beauty Brow MVP. This is their brow pencil. I did do a review on this one. I guess technically it's not finished. There's a little bit left, but I'm not even gonna get a whole brow out of that one. I would not repurchase this product. Number one, I don't use a brow pencil very much. I do my brows like this at the moment, but I feel like I'm just not gonna spend this much money on a brow pencil. I actually really like the MUA ones and they're like £2.50 or something. They're really, really cheap. What I really liked about this brow pencil, which is something that comes up a lot with Fenty, is the shade range, because for a long time, eyebrow shade ranges have been pretty limited. And this, I wanna say, is the lightest one. I think this is light blonde. Oh no, this is medium blonde, in fact. There is one lighter than this. And this one I found too light for me. Like for the summer, it's quite good, but in winter, I would definitely want to go for something darker. So we have to give it to Rihanna that she has done incredible work with shade ranges, no matter what the product is. My camera just cut off. I apologize if I am missing anything. I don't think I am, but if something is missing because it cut out, I do apologize. I just wasn't a big fan of the actual texture of the product. I didn't think it was the most pigmented and I thought it was quite dry. So I did have to push down quite a lot to get any pigmentation out, and it did end up breaking a couple of times, which when it's a cheap pencil, it's annoying, but I don't mind so much. But when it is a more expensive pencil, I would rather not be wasting any of it. So yeah, it's not the best pencil out there, but I have to give it to her that it was a good shade range. Other people are doing it now. So yeah, personally wouldn't get that one again. And finally, we have the Clarins Hand and Nail Treatment Cream. I have spoken about two other products from Clarins before in my Empties videos. I got all three of them in a Christmas gift set together on Boxing Day when I was working in a boot store. So I got the Boxing Day offer and then my employee discount, and it was so worth it. And this hand cream is so lovely. I just like the body lotion. I am so sad that I've run out of it. The texture is just really nice. It's not too heavy. It doesn't take too long to absorb into your hands, but you do feel like you are getting that moisture. Yeah, it's a really nice hand cream. A little bit bougie. I'm not sure how it costs, but I'm definitely not going to be buying it anytime soon again. It was just my favorite hand cream. Like, I was working on the Clinique counter and I would go over to the Clarins counter that was next to us and use their hand cream because I found the Clinique one too heavy for me and this one just had a nicer texture. In fact, the one time I actually enjoyed using the Clinique one more than this one is when Rona started and we were all using tons of hand sanitizer and this one didn't cut it. Everyone would be like, my hands are really dry, and I'd be like, Clinique hand cream. It will work. It will work for that. But yeah, for a normal situation, once things are back to normal, oh yeah, this is really nice. This is really, really nice. Can't afford to repurchase it, but like the lotion, if I can one day, I definitely will. So that wraps up today's Empties video, guys. I do hope as always that you liked it. It is always so satisfying when I get to include some makeup in here. Like skincare I finish regularly, but makeup just takes me a lot longer. So when there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 makeup items, it does feel quite satisfying. So yeah, very, very happy that these are now going to be making their way out of my makeup room and make space in my Empties basket for the next lot. So as always, guys, if you enjoyed today's video, then do please make sure that you give it a big thumbs up. Leave me a comment and let me know what you thought of it. And if you haven't already, then do please make sure that you hit the subscribe button as well as the notification bell so that you don't miss out on any of my future videos. And I'll see you all on the next one. Bye, guys.